Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Sulk stream. It's a Friday night, and I'm here to do a Friday show. I hope you guys are doing good tonight. I hope you guys are chill, or, maybe you're watching this tomorrow on a Saturday, playing some video games, and I appreciate you checking in. Remember to hit that like button if you would be so kind. I hope you guys have had a good day. We had a good day wave, nice and chill. Played a little Mario Kart. I am not very good, but that's fine. I can handle that. I can live with that. I have other things going on in my life besides Mario Kart. So yeah, I'm going to have a very relaxed show. It has been a tense week for me. There has been battles and Twitter feuds and all kinds of nonsense, and I feel like there's just too much going on, so I thought it would be nice if we just chilled tonight. Would you guys be okay with that? If I didn't yell into the microphone for 2 hours? Is that okay? Would you guys be down for that? I think I would be. I think I'd be quite pleased with doing that. But I do have a little bit of a show prepared. Don't think I don't. I do. It's just not one of my typical screaming and yelling ones. And, a lot of people have been coming down on me because I hate women. And I don't hate women. I just hate their decisions and their actions and their motives. But that's not the only type of person I hate. I hate a lot of people. So don't call me a bigot. I'm just very bitter. All around, inside and out. I've got a lot of judgments and I've got a lot of angst built up in my heart. And that's why I'm here. This is what I do. This is my therapy. And you guys are my therapists. And you pay me sometimes, which is really, really neat. But tonight, we're not doing any of that. We're not dealing with any bullshit. We're not dealing with any kind of nonsense. God, who am I fucking kidding? Who am I kidding? How many times have I done this? Where I'm like, I don't want to be like that tonight. I'm just, I just want to chill and stuff like that. And I find a video, I'm all like, I'm going to start screaming. I'm going to be mad. Of course. This is the Sulk stream. This isn't the let's chill out and everyone's cool stream. No, this is the shouting to the microphone until I get an aneurysm. Until I fucking, I just turn purple. You see a vein in my head and then I black out. Everything goes black. And then that's the end of John. That's the end of John. I predicted my own death. And it is at your guys' hands. There's blood on your hands right now. In the future. You know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. But none of that matters. Tonight we're doing Antarctica. That giant continent full of mystery. Full of mystique. Full of large birds that can't fly. What is up with that? I don't know. But I'm damn sure gonna find out. You and me both. Antarctica's got a bunch of weird stuff going on. People say there's UFOs. People say Nazi bases. People say giant energy weapons and stuff. And all I know is you're not allowed to go there. Unless you got a lot of very important paperwork saying you can go there. Which kind of seems stupid. Nobody lives there. Maybe a handful of people live there. But they're kind of cloistered up in bases and stuff like that. Did you know that Antarctica has the highest average IQ of any continent? That's true. Amongst humans, of course. Because everyone there is a scientist. Because there's no other reason you would go there. Unless you're looking for the aliens or the Nazis or the giant energy weapons. In which case you must be pretty smart to evade and elude all the authorities trying to capture you. And surviving Antarctica. It is very big. It's very big. So we're going to dive on into this mystery. And we're going to see where it takes us, and hopefully along the way we'll have a few laughs. And yeah, maybe I won't start yelling. Maybe. So anyways, get comfy. Get cozy. Get a nice bottle of chilled ice water. Or maybe a hot toddy or a cocoa. I don't care what you're doing. Just, be comfortable. Be where you can sit for a while and listen to me talk about whatever I happen to be talking about. I just kind of black out when I'm sitting in front of the screen, but, it is what it is. If you're working, keep working. Thanks for having me. If you're driving, please drive safely, get home safely, and you're a valued member of the Sulk Stream cult. Anyways, guys, it's a Friday show. Thank you so much for coming. I'm the Incredible Sulk. This is the Sulk Stream. And this is called You Just Shouldn't Go to Antarctica. Enjoy.
Antarctica harbors some of Earth's most extraordinary natural phenomena and some of the deepest conspiracies of the 21st century. I made a video a few weeks ago on these conspiracies of Antarctica, why you can't go there, and so on, and I missed quite a bit. Some stuff that I had no idea was even a thing. And that's what today's video is about. What makes Antarctica...
Christian says the Nazis are the friends we met along the way. Yeah. I mean, if you're going through Antarctica and you make friends, they're probably going to be Nazis. In one way or another.
So mysterious
that makes
and
sense
so
to me.
Extraordinary. Is it because
I'm
it's
not
the last
angsty.
Large landmass?
I am so angsty. I'm brooding. Jess always says this about me. I'm brooding. I brood a lot. And when I came up with the name The Incredible Sulk, she thought it was very appropriate because I tend to sulk a lot. I tend to go through phases where I am a little bit down in general. But, that's neither here nor there.
Remains outside the scope of typical human settlement in the modern era and specifically governance, despite a complex web of the territorial claims across it. I mean, look at this map. Or is it because this place is genuinely as bizarre and magical as it appears from the outside?
Could be filled with magic.
It
could be filled with magic.
Surrounded by both the unexplainable and that which wishes to remain hidden. And in today's video, we are trying to shine a light in...
Background noise says, boomers! Yeah, I do complain about them a lot, too.
Those dark,
that's true.
Cold corners.
Today, I didn't even have to use my AK. I'm sorry, Ice Cube. How often do you have to use your AK? Do you use it, because you should just move? And he did. He moved out of the ghetto. They always move out of the ghetto. Black people don't want to live amongst black people. I mean, they don't. They don't. Tell me that's untrue. Tell me that's untrue. It's not untrue. That's true. That's always true.
Now let's talk about a guy who got murdered.
You ever see a black guy hit it big and win the lotto or become a famous rapper or something like that, and he's all like, I'm moving back to the Congo. No. No. Dave Chappelle did it for a while, but he lost his mind before he went back to Africa. And he wasn't chilling in the Congo. He was in the nice parts of Johannesburg. Johannesburg is rough, don't get me wrong, but I'm sure there's nice parts of Johannesburg. Like South Africa, where the Dutch settled.
That's right, I'm an adult man with my hat on backwards, sitting in a $1,400 Master Chief chair, talking about conspiracies and anomalies.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's actually a sick-ass chair.
Press the like button down below. Go to sour.gg.
I need a new chair. My Secret Lab Titan, my Secret Lab Titan has served me well. This bad boy is, I put this bad boy through the ringer. If you can see, it's a little worse for wear. It's kind of had its glory days are behind it. But yep, there we go. There we are. Okay. squeeze an eye in here. Okay, microphone, come on over here. I like this old Secret Lab. This Secret Lab chair, it's a good chair. It's a solid... Oh, fuck, my camera. My camera is fine. Okay. Nope. Now I gotta fix my camera. Hold on, I'll fix my camera, guys. I will fix my camera. It's going to be okay, camera. Okay. Keep trying. Keep trying. Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay. There we go. It's a nice chair. It's not wine stained. It's not wine stained. There's no wine stains on it. It's like it's just well worn in. I've just, I've had it for years. I've had this thing for like 7 or 8 years. 8 years, I think.
Or I'll kill a motherfucker. Hey, bitch. In May of the year 2000, Antarctica became...
It's only $1,500 too. What? My this thing? I think this was $800 when I bought it. Is the Master Chief one $1,500? Yeah, that's probably. Yeah, probably.
The host of its first ever suspected homicide case.
Dan Russ. Hey, Dan Russ.
A 32-year-old Australian astrophysicist who was stationed at Antarctica's Amundsen Scott South Pole Station with its 49 other crew members. Despite being located in one of the most hostile and unforgiving environments on the surface of
We're watching
Earth,
Antarctica stuff and talking about chairs. That's what we're talking about. What kind of chair do you have? Do you like your chair? Is your chair comfy and nice, or is it not those things?
Healthy as one could be while stationed at this place, until his health began to deteriorate over roughly 36 hours, which began with his walk from the astrophysics research...
Dude, when I see this stuff, it reminds me of The Thing, the John Carpenter movie, right? The Thing, which is a good movie. It's a really good movie. I would love to stay at one of these places for like the year and like go through the winter just for the experience, just for like the mental experience, and just to say I did it. I don't know if I'd go crazy and start like axe murdering people or anything like that, or maybe I'd be really, really calm the entire time. Just calm. Upsettingly calm. So calm that it would actually drive other people crazy. Like, why is John always so calm? I don't know. We've been stuck here for months. He hasn't seen natural sunlight. He doesn't even talk to his family or anything like that. I've never seen him read or do any sort of like hobbies or anything like that. What's he do? I don't know. When he's not doing his science work, I guess that's my job. I'm a science worker. He just stares out the window. He just stares out the window at the endless blackness and watches the snow fall. You can only see a few feet, right? Because it's just so black. And he just stares silently for hours. And then they all start plotting against me, right? Because they don't like the cut of my jib. Not that I'm bothering anybody or like doing anything wrong. I'm just staring out the window for hours. And then they're all like, we're going to have to kill John. And then some sort of weird, like Mr. Magoo kind of, montage goes on where they keep trying to kill me. But then I just kind of like accidentally dodge it at the last minute and they die off one by one. And then I'm like, whoa, that was a terrible accident. And then, yep. And then by the time spring rolls around, I'm the only one left. Yeah. Just staring out the window.
Observatory back to the central station at the station. Rodney was
got a fancy Herman Miller chair? I don't even know what that is.
Brilliant scientist who had purple
Christian says the thing is S tier. Oh, yeah. Yeah, S tier movie.
Hair and played guitar in the station band that was called fanny pack and the...
I'd have to go see the ice wall. The fabled ice wall. If it exists, which I kind of don't think it does, but it could. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, you will find a ice wall. I'm sure there's plenty of walls made of ice or stuff. I don't think there's anything on the other side of it, but who knows? I'm not allowed to go to Antarctica. I would go. Hey, anybody on the Antarctic team, I'm willing to volunteer. I'll stay quiet as long as I have a window, but don't try to kill me.
Big Nancy.
Don't try to kill me.
It went
No.
walk back. Rodney experienced
Never
a
works
sudden
out.
onset of poor vision, breathing difficulties, and severe stomach pain. Unlike his usual social demeanor.
Dan Russ says, dude, even those scientists can lose it, I hear. Yeah, there's like an Antarctica syndrome where like people like, he talks about it. People get like irritable and like sometimes people just like lose their fucking minds. Just like straight up lose their mind. It's just like the movie The Shining. Another decent movie. It's a decent movie. You're just cooped up and like it's constantly snowing and cold. You have to stay inside all the time. Eventually, I don't know, weaker minds tend to break, I guess. And then there was actually something that happened not too long ago where like a guy killed a bunch of people in one of those stations. Like, legitimately. Didn't that happen? I'm pretty sure it did. Hold on.
Marks went to bed early, hoping to sleep off what he thought was
I'm gonna look
a
it up.
minor illness.
I'm gonna look it up.
He woke during the night to take an antacid tablet, but by 5:30 a.m. on May 12th, he was vomiting blood. After this, Marks made his first visit to the station's biomed facility to see Dr. Robert, a.k.a. Robo, Thompson, the sole physician.
Okay, right here. We're coming back to it, boys. All right? Relax, because I want to hear about this too, even though I already heard about it, but, I always want to hear about it again. But, there's a Sulk stream. And it's Friday. Friday shows are for me. This is inside the creepy unsolved case of the only person ever murdered at the South Pole.
When he had the chance
Ahoy,
to work
despite.
on Antarctica's Antarctic Submillimeter Telescope and Remote Observatory in the late 1990s, Australian astrophysicist Rodney Marks felt it was a seemingly perfect opportunity. He was newly engaged, too, and things were falling into place.
She's kind of mid. I don't want to be mean like that. I understand that was mean, but, like, if my fiance was mid like that, I'd be like, I'll murder someone.
But on May 11th, year 2000, he suddenly fell
That's
ill.
mean. I don't care.
He was sidelined by severe stomach pains, fever, and nausea. Within 36 hours, he was dead.
Okay.
While it was initially believed he died of natural causes, a further investigation proved
That's an Antarctic 9? Dude, you're probably... No. You know what? We don't know. We haven't seen... Look, there's a lot of different bases on Antarctica, and a lot of them... a few of them at least we don't know about. I guarantee you there's some like underground submarine base that we have no idea about. And I'm sure there is a collection of women, maybe some super billionaire, or maybe they do have a Nazi base. And there's just a bunch of smoking hot blonde chicks. Like blue eyes, blonde hair, like absolutely fucking gorgeous. We don't know. And they're trying to keep that from us. That's not fair. We don't know. But yeah, most likely... She's probably pretty high tier in the Antarctic circle. I didn't mean to do that pun, but it's there, so ingest it.
something more nefarious was at play. This is the story of the unsolved case of the only person ever murdered at the South Pole.
Christian says deep black ops going on down there. No doubt. Yeah, I don't doubt that either. I'm actually pretty sure. Something definitely... Look, there is a huge budget. There's a lot of money that gets funneled into Antarctica for some reason. And they have they can create like a lot of energy. People think there's directed energy weapons down there. And there are certain projects that you could be like, that does look like a directed energy weapon. But homeboy over here, Oompaville, Follow him if you don't, because he does great videos. He's going to talk about it. I want to hear about this. I want to hear about this cat get killed.
And young Australian astrophysicist Rodney Marks' life and career were just beginning to blossom. Barely 30, he was assigned to work on the Antarctic submillimeter.
Barely 30, huh? Okay. Well, it's 1990, so it's like, getting a job was super duper easy.
Telescope and remote observatory in Antarctica, a life stream. Not to mention he was engaged to the love of his life, Sonia Wall.
Antarctic 9, Sonia. Sonia's a hot name, I guess. Is it? I don't know. I don't meet a lot of Sonias. Yeah. Is this 90s hot? No, that's not 90s hot. There was definitely hot chicks in the 90s. But she, yeah. Okay, fine. I'll give her a 9, an Antarctic 9. I don't know, though. And I'm kind of like, ugh, really? Because I want to imagine Antarctica has, like, super hot women. Can I have that? Can you just give me that? Can you, like, roll with me on that? In my mind, in my mind's eye, there's just smoking hot bitches down in Antarctica. Let a man dream, okay? I look, yeah, I just let a man dream. She's there, but she just stands next to the super hot ones to make them look even hotter. She's got her place. She's got her cause. God damn, I'm mean.
Stationed on the Antarctic base with him and working as a maintenance specialist. But just as life was looking up for the young couple, it all suddenly took a turn. On May 11, 2000, Rodney began suffering from severe stomach pains, fever, and nausea. Tragically, within 36 hours, he was dead. While it was initially assumed he died of natural causes, the circumstances of his demise began to seem suspicious. Soon it was believed that he'd been the first and only person ever to be murdered.
Yeah, Project Ice Cube. That's right, Art and Share. I don't know. Yeah.
At the South Pole. Because the Amundsen Scott South Pole Station was in Antarctica, one of the most remote places in the world, getting proper medical...
You know why they have such a low murder rate? No minorities.
Attention simply wasn't an option. Flights had been canceled for the next several months due to the inclement weather.
Tell me I'm wrong. Yeah, there was one murder, but that's like one in the history of time.
Since no flights were leaving Antarctica, Rodney's body had to be stored in a freezer on site for 6 whole months, a period of time that was likely detrimental to authorities looking for much-needed clues. No one stationed at the base ever imagined something sinister could have been at play. After all, if he'd really been murdered, one of them had to have done it.
This is summertime. This must be summertime down there because, it's cold. I don't know how cold it gets in Antarctica, but I know it's cold. I don't know for a fact. I've never been there, but I've heard it's cold.
Which seemed unlikely. Besides, Rodney was
one that we know of, yeah. Look, there's a band? Best band in Antarctica, probably. The best band, I don't know what to call them. I don't know what their name would be.
Liked, and he didn't have any known enemies there. The National Science Foundation released...
God, dude, if you have enemies in Antarctica, you must suck. Or you're just like such a badass that you're actually making enemies in a place where there's like 10 other people. But then again, if you're like stuck in like a small building, like, and you see the same faces over and over for a year, right? There's nobody new. I mean, you can make phone calls out and shit. They have internet and stuff. But like, I don't know. People are going to get on your nerves. And it's not like you're an enemy. It's just they just can't take you anymore. And it's not that you're like, you're probably a fine guy in small doses, but they've had too much and they're gonna murder you. I'm gonna send you out into the cold. That's how I do it. I'd be like, hey, can you go get me this thing outside? Like, dude, it's negative 50 degrees outside. I know, but it's just outside the door. And then he goes outside and then I lock the door. And I'll be like, he is suicide. It was a terrible suicide. He decided to go out, and he knew it was negative 50 degrees out there. So, yeah, it was suicide. And then I just go back to staring out the window.
released a statement that claimed Rodney's passing was due to natural
Fucking
causes
psychopath.
thanks to a history involving years of alcohol abuse. But they were mistaken.
Christian says they say it's cold, so don't believe it. Okay.
6 months later, when Rodney's body was finally brought to Christchurch, New Zealand, to be properly examined, an autopsy discovered the horrific truth. Someone had intentionally poisoned the astrophysicist with methanol. Suddenly, everyone was in fear. A murder investigation began and other clues started to emerge. A series of needle marks on both Rodney's arms were discovered, yet there was no detection of any illegal drugs found in his system. As people scrambled for answers, theories began to swirl.
Like somebody's smuggling shit to fucking
world. Some
down there for
authorities
sure.
believed an alcohol addiction accompanied by desolate Antarctic environment drove Rodney to purposely ingest the methanol in an attempt to kill himself. His co-workers, however, weren't buying that. Other theories suspected that he'd accidentally dropped methanol in his liquor while attempting to distill it. Yet even that was strange. Besides the fact that there was plenty of alcohol on base, Rodney was a scientist, and he'd have known that.
How much alcohol? Is there a lot of alcohol? Is there a lot of booze in Antarctica? I mean, how much booze? Do you have to BYOB? Or is it just like supplied? Do they have like a full bar down there? And like a ghost bartender that like gives you drinks and stuff that actually does not exist? Because think about being stationed there for a year, because I think that's how it works. But you get like stationed there, you arrive in the spring, and then you ride out the winter, and then you leave in the spring again. Think about how much alcohol you're gonna have to bring. Cases of alcohol. I mean, cases. You're gonna need at least a couple bottles a week. A couple 750, well, maybe not that much. Let's say a 750 a week, which is like a decent amount of alcohol. That's 52 bottles. You're going to carry 52 bottles of liquor down to the station with you? That's a lot. That's a lot to carry.
Putting methanol in his beverage could be deadly. That's when authorities began investigating the source.
Orange Share says methanol is a toxic byproduct of alcohol distillation. I imagine they were making the hard stuff and didn't purge the first bit. Yeah, I think that's if you're making moonshine, you're supposed to throw away the first couple cups that come out of the condenser. I don't make moonshine, but I've heard that.
Quickly, they learned it was kept on base to be diluted and used to clean the work facility. Everyone
Hello,
stationed
Ben.
there had easy access to the supply. Of course, this opened the door to the possibility that one of Rodney's fellow scientists had purposely placed the methanol in his beverage. From
Why?
that point forward, investigators began treating his death as a potential homicide case. With only 49 people stationed at the Amundsen.
I mean, yeah, 52 bottles and pass them around. So you bring 52 bottles of alcohol. And then everybody else, like the heavy drinkers, are probably bringing more than that. So, like, I mean, that's a shipment. It would be easier just to, like, ship in, like, a big old shipping container of alcohol. How many people are there? Fucking 30? I don't know. 15, 20? I don't know. But, like, not everyone is going to bring their own supply of alcohol. And, like, you know, you're going to get bored. Sure, you have video games and stuff, but you're going to need a drink. You're just going to need one.
Scott South Pole Station, whittling down the possible suspect list wasn't too daunting a task for the investigators. Or, at least, that's what they thought originally. Eventually, authorities hit an unexpected roadblock in the form of the United States government. Unbeknownst to them, the Amundsen Scott Station was located on a legally divided territory between New Zealand and the United States. The territory was owned by New Zealand, even though it was a U.S. base. When lead investigator and detective senior
Wait, what's it matter who owns it? It's Antarctica. Do people actually own Antarctica? Who owns Antarctica? Who owns the moon besides America? That's true. The moon is owned by America. This is a fact.
Grant Wormald from the New Zealand Police Department began questioning Rodney's fellow scientists. Only 13
By the way, there's a blood moon coming up, and thank the good old US of A for that one.
of the 49 agreed to participate. The impediments only grew when Detective
Is there a weight and size limit to bring personal items? I don't know. I don't think it's like, they're not going to the space station, right, where it's like $10,000 a pound to bring something. But, I mean, I'm sure they have some sort of limit. They would have to have some sort of limit of, like, the amount of stuff they bring. But that could be a very high limit, especially if they're going for an entire year. And, like, you know, it's probably a high enough limit where it doesn't matter. You know, I'm sure they're not bringing, like, a grand piano or anything like that, but they could probably bring a few cases of, like, a nice scotch or some sort of liquor, and that probably wouldn't be a problem.
Wormald asked the U.S. government for help, seeking answers.
I mean, imagine if you were, like, a heroin addict and you're like, man, I gotta keister, like, an entire kilo in my rectum to get it down there, because I don't know if they're checking or anything like that, but you don't want to get caught, but you need enough heroin to make it all the way through the year. So you're like, okay, this is a big brick of heroin, and I'm going to need a couple of bottles just to lube up enough. I mean, that could explain the needle marks on his arms. He was just a heroin addict.
About the scientists and their criminal history.
Maybe.
Authorities refused to
I don't know.
oblige, as they were conducting an investigation themselves. Unfortunately,
Knobs Dog says no one owns Antarctica. It's governed by the Antarctic Treaty. So America does. You could just say that. You could just say America owns it. When you have like these large international treaties, you could just say America owns it. Because who protects these treaties? Who enforces these treaties? We do. We do. That's it. And I'm sure Russia has a base, and I'm sure China has a base. But let's be super duper real. It belongs to us. We're not allowed to go there, but like, it probably, like the oil rights and stuff, which I'm sure there's tons of oil in Antarctica. Like gobs of it. Absolutely so much oil. But there's a lot of oil in the United States too. We just don't use it because, well, there's a very complicated political and economic reason why we don't use the oil in the United States and instead import it from the Middle East. And it has to do with the petrodollar and, like, you know, holding control over world economies. And Kissinger was deeply involved in that. And if you want to look into that, be my guest. But it has to do with economic control over the planet. That's why we don't use our own oil.
Both sides of the investigation were too stubborn to share any information.
Our oil shouldn't cost as much as it does. And in fact, we should be using nuclear technology, like nuclear fission, because it would just be so much more efficient, and we would be able to have limitless energy. Energy would cost essentially nothing. But Kissinger poo-pooed the entire nuclear advancement of using nuclear energy, and decided to make us heavily reliant on fossil fuels like oil and stuff. Although oil might not technically be a fossil fuel. That's an entirely another conspiracy theory if you want to dive down that rabbit hole. But, yeah. Yeah, it's multifaceted. There's a lot going on. There's all kinds of conspiracies all over the place. All over the place. We wouldn't need to be so reliant on oil if we got our nuclear program off the ground, but there was an entire media objective to show it as like dirty and dangerous using nuclear fission. And this also goes into like Chernobyl, and like, was Chernobyl sabotage, which it almost certainly was. The same thing with like Fukushima. The entire reason Homer Simpson worked at a nuclear plant was so they can show that it's run by idiots and you should be afraid of it. It is very complicated. It's very complex, and it's got its tentacles all over the place in media, in history, in science. It's very complicated. But just to say, if we went nuclear, we wouldn't even have to start investing in fusion because we would have our energy needs met by a large degree. We can make as much energy as we wanted with relatively no problem. We certainly have the technology now, but they wanted to get rid of it. And the main problem with building a nuclear power plant is the red tape. That's the only issue. It takes like 10 years just to cut through the red tape to even start a groundbreaking process to build a nuclear power plant. So, yeah. It's not that we couldn't do it. It's not that we couldn't make it clean. It's not that we couldn't make it cheap. It's just they don't want it to be done.
Solving the case. Without cooperation on either end, the investigation quickly hit a standstill. Meanwhile,
Ben says, I worked at a nuke plant for temp job one year. My brother called me Homer. That's cool. That's cool. Knobs Dog says, you're 100% correct, John. I know.
as authorities continued to conduct their separate investigations into Rodney's tragic demise, his family all but gave up hope. I don't think we're going to find out any more in regards to how Rodney died. I see that as a fruitless exercise, his father said at the time. To this day, Rodney's tragic murder remains unsolved. It's highly unlikely that anyone will be able to recover.
Plus Rockefeller, Ben Ochoa says, plus Rockefeller named oil fossil fuels. I read it in my earth science class back in junior high school, and college. Yeah, so... So, like, oil is a hydrocarbon, right? And hydrocarbons, they say, come from decomposing, like, plant matter and stuff from millions of years ago. And they are formed in these reservoirs in the ground that are tapped, and they are only so plentiful, right? However, we know this for a fact. There are hydrocarbons on other planets, and we don't see any evidence of past plant life or anything on those planets. So how do hydrocarbons get there? How is there like methanes and like natural gases there? But here they have to come from plants and animals and stuff. See, there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect in science there.
Usable evidence to help aid in the investigation and bring justice to his family. Hopefully, however, a breakthrough comes one day.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he just died. I don't know. I think he's going to talk about the exact same thing.
Responsible for the 49
He's going to talk about the exact same thing.
man winter over crew. Despite Mark stating it had been 38 hours since his last drink, Thompson initially believed it was alcohol withdrawal or possibly something anxiety-induced. Doctors will blame anything on anxiety, but the doctor found that Rodney had needle marks.
Knobsack says, yeah, my buddy was a nuclear operator. He literally had Homer's job. He worked at Sector 7G, and it was a... what did he do? He was like a nuclear safety inspector or something? Something like that.
On his arm were the injection sites, blood draw sites. There were no illegal drugs present in his system, but the doctor drew blood from the same site just
Dr. Drew.
for testing. However, the decision to draw blood from the same site would later complicate the investigation. Throughout the rest of the day, Mark's condition deteriorated rapidly. His symptoms progressed to include increasing anxiety, disorientation, severe joint pain, and extreme...
Ben says, Knobs, that's a real smart dude. It's overwhelming. I was just chipping paint for $25 an hour 35 years ago. $25 an hour 35 years ago? You know how much money that is? That's a lot of money. 35, that's house money. That's buying a house money. I mean, obviously, that's not buying a house money now, but like back 35 years ago, when I was just a wee baby, I was just a little baby. I was just a little sulk. I was a little sad baby. You're making $25 an hour? It's pretty good.
Extreme sensitivity to light that forced him to wear sunglasses despite the 24-hour Antarctic darkness.
He was a control room operator?
Maintenance specialist.
Okay. I don't know shit about nuclear fission. I mean, I know the basic science behind it. It makes water hot, and it spins turbines. But, like, I've never been in one.
At the station and bass player in the Nancy Boys and fiance of Rodney Marks stayed with him as he progressively became...
Despite what you've heard, says there are methane vents in the ocean. Yeah, and like Venus's atmosphere is mostly methane. So where's all that methane coming from? If hydrocarbons have to be made from like decomposing plant life and like dinosaurs and stuff like that, which is what a fossil fuel would be. What the fuck? Yeah.
By 3 p.m. during his third and final visit to the medical facility, Marks was in critical condition.
Ben says it was great, Sulk. I worked 3 months and paid off months rent and paid almost all my college fees for a year. Yeah, college fees was like nothing back then too, though. So it's not like modern college fees where it's like, oh, you sign this paper and then you're indebted until you're 90 years old. It's literally a mortgage. That is a mortgage. You go to college now and it's a fucking mortgage, which is a death agreement or something like that. Somebody who speaks French, let me know what that means.
Dr.
Or
Thompson
Latin. I don't give a shit.
administered oxygen and even gave him an antipsychotic for his increasing agitation, but Rodney Marks would not improve. It appeared as though he was feeling better at a certain point, or at the very least, he was calmer, but that was because at around 6 p.m. that day, he went into cardiac arrest. Despite 45 minutes of CPR by the emergency trauma team, Rodney Marks was pronounced dead that day. And his actual cause of death was methanol poisoning, but that wouldn't be discovered for months. And the reason for that was because for the next 5 months, due to harsh winter conditions, no aircraft could land until late October. And this happened in May. When his body finally reached Christchurch, New Zealand on October 30th, 2000, forensic pathologist Dr. Martin Sage conducted the autopsy, and the results were shocking. Marks had died from acute methanol poisoning with a constant.
Nob says, Ben Ochoa, extremely smart, one of the more interesting people I've known in my life. He's traveled the whole world doing all kinds of crazy stuff. He was making $75K back in 2000 at that plant. $75K in 2000 is, I don't know how much that is. It's like probably an insane amount of money. I don't know. A lot of people are a bit like, oh, well, you have to look at the consumer price index and you know, do so. No, don't believe that. Don't believe the CPI because it's fake. It's a lie, right? They dumb down inflation so people don't freak out, with how high inflation actually is. Don't listen to the CPI. It's not true.
Concentration equivalent to the size of a glass of wine. This is methanol, by the way. It's
what word? Mortgage. What does mortgage mean? Mortgage. It means like death grant or something like that. Death deal, something.
a highly toxic chemical that Marks worked with in his day-to-day routine. He used it to clean equipment, but the amount that was in his system was much more than he would have ever come into contact with through his everyday work. It was an amount that he would have had to ingest. Methanol itself is subtly sweet and colorless, which makes it easy to...
It would be about 140K now. I think it would probably be more than that. But that's probably... Sure, let's go with that. 140K, I mean... Yeah, usually when I do like inflation and stuff, I go by gold. Because the same amount of gold will buy the same size house today as it did back in like the year 2000. So I usually do like price adjusted for gold. And if you do that, if you go back to like 1960 where gold was like $35 an ounce, and then the minimum wage was like, I don't know, $2.71 or something like that. People were making like $70 or $80 at minimum wage an hour. It's insane. It's insane.
Dose someone unknowingly. And unfortunately, the poisoning could have been identified had Dr. Thompson maintained his equipment properly. The doctor had a blood analyzer which could have detected the methanol poisoning, was inoperable due to a dead lithium battery. And when this thing was powered off, it lost its calibration, and calibrating it took 8 to...
Knobsdog says, I looked up an inflation index and it would be 140K today. Yeah, the exact thing I told you not to do. The exact thing I told you not to listen to. Yeah.
10 hours. Dr. Thompson had reported the issue to Raytheon, the maker of this machine, but never attempted to fix it or leave it powered on to avoid it losing calibration, leaving potentially life-saving equipment out of action when it was obviously needed most. The National Science Foundation's initial response was deeply problematic. Within hours of Mark's death, the NSF released a statement claiming he had died by what appeared to be natural causes. With
Christian says mortgage comes from an old French mortgage. I'm going to say it like that because I know you didn't put anything, but I'm going to say mortgage, meaning death pledge. There you go. Thank you.
nothing to suggest that his death was related to his work or to the environment at the South Pole or to any toxic or infectious agent. It was magic, though this response was of course because the Ectacum blood analyzer, which would have absolutely discovered the cause of death or been able to diagnose what was going on with him, was never powered on to, analyze the blood in the man who appeared to have some...
It was the 90s, though. Lithium batteries sucked noodles back then. And, everyone was real chill and stuff. And, if somebody died from, drinking too much, what was it called again? The stuff, right? He was probably just drinking bathtub liquor. Honestly, he probably got bored, and he was like, I'm going to make my own bathtub liquor. And he forgot to, he did something wrong, and there turned out to be too much methanol, and he kind of went blind for a little bit, and then he died. Because that's what happens when you drink too much methanol. You go a little blind. You go blind.
kind of poisoning of the blood. The doctor thought it was alcohol withdrawal. Then Detective Senior Sergeant Grant Wormald of the New Zealand Police led the investigation from 2002 to 2008, facing unprecedented obstacles from the NSF. This organization refused to provide contact details for the 49 winter crew members that were serving at the station with Rodney, claiming privacy concerns, which is just like...
I'll show you when you... This isn't exactly methanol, but this is isopropyl alcohol. This is what happens when you drink isopropyl alcohol.
Let's go. Play it on ground. What the fuck? Alright, bro, I gotta end this shit. Alcohol. Let's go. Play it on ground. What the fuck?
He probably died.
Privacy?
He probably died. I don't know what happened to that guy, but he lit his hand on fire. He put it on his hand, and everyone's all like, "No, that's fake." No, I think he's fucking stupid enough to do that, and didn't think he was gonna die, but he almost certainly died.
What are you talking about?
He's got to be dead. Yeah, he's got to be dead. I mean, there's you don't survive that. There was some glugs going on there. That was glugging. He was all like, yo, I'm so fucking hard I can drink this isopropyl alcohol. Not meant for human consumption, but I'm just a monster. Okay. Goodbye.
What the
Goodbye.
Submitted
You
questions
fucking idiot. You got, this is the Darwin, you're a fucking retard. You're fucking stupid.
for the witnesses. The NSF only forwarded them in 2005.
Dan Russ says, unless he could throw up almost all of that up immediately, he's dead. Yeah, no, he couldn't. He's dead. I'm sure he threw some of it up, but no, he's dead. He's definitely dead.
In 2006.
We just
5
watched someone
years
die.
after Rodney's
It's the Sulk stream.
death. And of 49 potential witnesses, only 13 responded.
Isopropyl? Am I saying it wrong, Knob? I thought isopropyl. Isopropyl? It doesn't matter how I pronounce it.
Wormald suggested 4 possibilities for what could have happened. A, the methanol was ingested willingly to get high.
Probably not isopropyl alcohol is sterile, but his liver definitely took a beating. It's probably not isopropyl? Are you sure? Maybe I misunderstand you.
B, it was taken in a successful...
We've all
attempt
been
to
there
take his
before,
own
says
life.
Arnshire.
C,
No, I'm still alive. I've never done that. I've never taken like a bottle of fucking alcohol like that and been like, I wonder if this is going to get me drunk. Never in my life have I thought that. Never in my life have I thought that. Never. Never have I been like, I wonder if this is going to get me drunk. And be like, well, bottoms up. No. That's how you fucking die. That's stupid. That's for stupid people. That is a stupid people thing. He was a stupid person, and now he's dead. And the guy in the background, he was like, what the fuck? Why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you be like, yo, that's going to fucking kill you? That's going to kill you, bro. But hey, at least we're getting likes. At least we're getting views. And I'm sure a lot of people viewed it. We just did. And we're in the, probably 80-90% of the people that also watched that were like, wow, what a fucking moron. What an absolute goddamn idiot. And then the other 10% of people were like, well, if he can do it, I can do it.
He took it accidentally, or D, someone...
I'm not saying 90% of people are geniuses. I'm saying 10% of people are fucking retarded. Half of people are like pretty retarded. 10% of people are like drink isopropyl alcohol retarded.
Someone spiked his drink either as a prank or to make him sick or potentially to kill him. But as you can see through the NS...
Arden Share says, you've ever shotgunned a fifth of vodka? No, never done that. I used to have problems with No. I shotgunned a Four Loko once. The old school ones. That was a night. It's basically a can of wine with caffeine in it. And I was okay afterwards. The next day I felt pretty bad, but I was okay. I think I puked, yeah.
To cooperate with the detective and authorities, there were far too many obstacles in the way for him to be able to...
Despite says John's always pronouncing words incorrectly. Shut the fuck up. You know what I'm talking about. Does it really matter if I actually nail it? You guys are all like... You guys are the people in Jeopardy who would like get all the answers right until you actually went on the show, and then your mind would just go blank. It's different when you're in front of the camera. When you're on my side... It's a little tougher than you might think. Doing this is not as easy as you think it is. I know it looks pretty easy because I'm fucking awesome at it.
Investigate these theories properly. These theories are logical too. Nothing is off the wall. 49 people locked in 24-hour darkness in the most isolated remote part of the entire planet. Things can get kind of
all
crazy.
About that Everclear.
I mean,
if you're ever feeling really suicidal, oh man, I know you've all seen this. I know you all. I know you all know who Shoe Nice is, but I want to watch him drink that Everclear, just to make sure that everyone sees it. Where he slams the entire bottle of Everclear. Let me. Is he dead? I kind of hope. I don't hope he's dead, right? I hope he like got clean and like made something of himself, but he's just he's one of those retards. He's a fucking retard too. They found blood in his alcohol system. Very funny. Shoe Nice says, I am alive. Okay, that's cool. I don't know if that's him, but let's watch him do it.
Hey everyone, Shoe Nice again.
I know we've seen it. We've all seen it, but I'm going to watch it again, all right? Because there's something dark inside of me that, I don't know, wants to see something happen. I don't know.
Your vid to end all vid.
It's like a freak show. It's got that freak show thing to it. It's freaky.
You guys ready? Let's do this.
And it makes me want to vomit. Honestly, I don't think I've ever had Everclear. But I've gotten drunk enough to where I was like, oh.
Assumption
Okay.
may endanger your health.
Okay.
190 proof, guys. I ain't playing games.
I mean, you gotta be in a dark place to do this. You gotta be in a bad way. And I'm sure I think his wife left him because What kind of woman would marry this guy? Of course you're going to have a failed marriage. This guy has failed marriage written all over him. He slams a bottle of Everclear on camera for people to watch for, well, it was 1 million views. I don't know how much money that makes. It's probably not that much money. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. How much is 1 million views? $3,500? I actually have no idea. Let's say it's 10 grand. It ain't worth it. That ain't worth it. Go, you fucking animal.
Get set. Should I?
Fucking disgusting. That's your body rejecting it. That's your body telling you made a mistake. And you should go to the hospital. The only way he survived that is being a like career alcoholic. If somebody like, you know, a normal day, even like a day-to-day drinker, you know, a guy who knocks back a couple on the weekends, he would die. Somebody who doesn't drink at all, they would die immediately. Only somebody who drinks, like, you know, a fifth a night, like a fifth of vodka a night, can actually kind of handle that. You gotta be real fucked up for that.
Haven't you ever seen The Thing?
Dan Russ says, I'm laughing watching it again. It is. It's very hard not to, like, be like, yo, what the fuck?
Evidence contamination
What
further
the fuck?
complicated matters. Mark's living quarters and office were cleaned immediately after his death, with his personal effects thrown away in the trash.
Onia says, LOL, I've done this. Don't remember anything about that night. Not with a bottle of Everclear. But, like, even if it's, like, a bottle of vodka, you're insane. Like a straight bottle of vodka, like a 750 of vodka, if you take that to the skull, you're going to, I mean, most people would end up in the hospital.
His workspace was known to be messy and contained.
Knobs Dog says 1 million views on YouTube can equate to roughly $1,000 to $6,000. Not worth it. So $3,500 is pretty close. That's pretty close. So $3,500? No.
About a dozen liquor bottles with other work-related bottles in the mix, such as bottles of methanol and ethanol, but that was also cleaned up. These spices should have been marked off for...
Nom says, I got drunk on Everclear this summer before I went into 9th grade. I got super sick and never drank it again. One time, me and my, so I was hanging out with my buddies, and, I had a bottle. We were in high school, and I had a bottle of, I had a couple bottles, of that Smirnoff Twisted vodka, you know, like that flavored vodka, like watermelon and shit like that. You know, we were fucking high school kids. And, we're hanging out in my room, and, me and my buddy, we go to, one of the houses under construction to, smoke a J, right? Just fucking kicking around, having a good time. And then we come back to my room, my house, and then my other buddy had showed up when we were gone, and he was all like, where's John and them? And we weren't there, and he saw the bottle of Twisted Smirnoff on my bed, and he drank the whole fucking thing. We were gone for maybe 20 minutes. We were gone for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops, tippy tops. And we come back, and he's smashed. He is smashed. And I'm like, how the fuck are you so... And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Wild. Absolutely wild. He was just, he was blacked out.
Investigation, and the facility management company, get this,
I'm like,
Raytheon
Jesus, dude.
had requested them to be marked
I'm like, you didn't even pay for that.
off for investigation, but either the crew didn't see this or they didn't care to follow the request from Raytheon. No forensic protocols were followed and no crime scene was preserved. Perhaps most suspiciously, Dr. Thompson, the station physician who treated Marks, disappeared.
Carbon says, even when I could still drink, I kind of got away from hard booze, mixed drinks and beer only. Did plenty of blackout drinking as a kid. Yeah, I can't drink like that anymore. I mean, I can have a few drinks. I mean, like, I can put it away. Don't get me wrong, I can, but I can't, dude. I can't be hungover for 2 days. You know, I can't do that. I have shit going on. I have stuff to do. But like, if I put my mind to it, I can drink quite a bit. But I can't, dude. I can't just give up 2 fucking days. Like, because before I could handle a hangover and like much quicker, but these days, I'm just too old for that. I'm just too old for that. My liver has seen like a lot of shit, and it's like, you know, let's reel that in. Let's just go ahead and reel that in. So I'll have a drink once a week, maybe twice a week, but that's it.
Appeared after giving a single statement in 2006 and has not been located since. He seems to have completely fallen off the grid. So,
No, well, so never fucking ever call me Porterino. What the fuck is that? Glad I can actually hear the levels of the show you're playing. You sound good. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
this whole thing reeks of a cover-up.
But don't ever call me that.
Was it one? I don't know. Some people seem to think that it's possible. We mentioned 4 potential explanations for the poisoning from the detective, but which is the most likely? Suicide is the least likely. This man had an excellent career. He was doing groundbreaking.
Getting engaged to a nice Antarctic mid, and like, well, that was that. I guarantee you it was just an accident. He probably got too drunk, and then there was like a bottle of methanol in the lab, and he was all like, whatever. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
Breaking scientific research.
You know, here's the thing. Everyone's like, he's a scientist. He's a scientist. He's never going to do something stupid. That's a stupid thing to say. I know a lot of smart people. I consider myself a pretty smart person on a case-by-case situation. I've done stupid shit. And I know a lot of very smart people, you know, college doctors and fucking lawyers and shit, do some fucking stupid shit. So it's not like, you know, stupid things are just reserved for stupid people. Admittedly, stupid people do more stupid things, but they don't have the monopoly. They don't have the corner of the market on stupidity, all right? Everyone does stupid shit, especially when you're a kid and you're like, you know, you're drinking and doing drugs and getting partying and shit. Shit happens. You know, shit happens. You're all like, I thought it was a good idea. And you did, legitimately. You maybe didn't think it was a good idea, but you thought it would at least be funny. That's what got me in a lot of trouble a lot of times. I thought it would be funny. And admittedly, it was funny. It was funny. Now that I think back on it, yeah, I was fucking hilarious.
She had found love, was working with his love, and the future was very bright for him. But
you know, it's all about the laughs. It's all about the laughs.
Isolation so far from society could have driven him to it, but it seems very difficult to believe, and you'd think that there would have been some kind of test.
Carbon says, why not drink mouthwash or cologne like a proper alcoholic? Yeah, there's perfumes. You can drink Sterno. You can hand sanitizer. You can just gobble up a bunch of hand sanitizer. I don't know. What else? Lotion? Sunscreen? I don't know if that's going to do anything, but maybe.
Testimony from his fiance who was there with him. It's also possible that
Strawberry says, seemed like a good idea at the time. And then you're just all shoulders. Seemed like a good idea. When you're trying to explain yourself. That's all you got. That's all you got because you're a fucking stupid kid. And it's not that you're stupid. You're not stupid. You're just like, I don't know. There's like, there's like an experimentation phase. Like, it's a bad idea. You understand it's a bad idea. But you're a little drunk and you're all like, well, let's just see what would happen. let's just see what would happen. Because we could be wrong. It's like very early science. And those people who do those kind of experiments, they go on to do great things. Oftentimes they do. Sometimes the biggest alcoholics, like the biggest fucking retards, go on to do great things. Just because they're like, it was an experiment. I'm just like, I wanted to test some shit out. And then they go out and figure like the theory of relativity. Einstein partied like an animal. I don't know that. I'm just lying.
Someone could have given Rodney methanol as a drink, not as a prank or as a poison, but they just simply confused the methanol for alcohol.
Noel says sanitizer tastes disgusting. Well, you have to mix it with a little Fabuloso. That's the thing. You make yourself a Mexican sunset. I don't know what you call it, but it would be that's a suicide drink.
Alcohol or ethanol, but you obviously wouldn't want to drink ethanol. It's used as an ingredient in distilling moonshine in the base. I don't know. Maybe they thought it would get. I'm not sure. It seemed.
Just remember, eth good, meth bad.
Okay. Well. Maybe he accidentally did this through self-poisoning, some home brewing mishap, or a lab accident. Anything could be possible in regard to this, but it's somewhat unlikely given Mark's expertise and knowledge of chemical dangers. This seems like something I would do, not something
Is this a drunk 4-hour premium stream tonight? Do I seem drunk? I'm not drunk. I haven't been drinking. I didn't feel like being, I had a drink on like Wednesday, I think. So no, not tonight. I'm not drinking tonight. Maybe next week. Next week, if you guys donate well, let's say if I make, I don't know, a certain amount of money on a certain day, then I'll have a drink with you guys. I'm not setting anything hard right now.
Genius stationed in Antarctica would do.
Because you don't know, I might feel differently. I might set a hard limit and be like, if I make $100 on Monday, then I'll drink with you guys on Friday. But by the time Friday rolls around, I'll be like, okay, if I make $1 tonight, I'll drink with you.
An astrophysicist. You know what I'm saying?
It's not good business practices. I admittedly, it's not good, but sometimes daddy wants a drink.
Alcohol and mix-in alcohol accidents are more likely, I would say, than the other things, but to become so reckless with a dangerous chemical...
Hog Dog says AA Fridays on the Sulk stream. Look, I could do that. Fuck. Would that be a good money-making thing? Like, if I made a certain amount of money over the week, then I would get drunk on Friday. I mean, I could do that. Okay. Yeah. $300? Is that... I feel like that's not over, because that's cumulative from Monday to Thursday. If I make $300 from Monday to Thursday, then I will get drunk on Fridays. If not, then if not.
While at a scientific research facility... To me,
see, that's a nice high. That's good.
He seems quite far-fetched. And obviously murder cannot be ruled out. There are too many factors that make the entire situation seem suspicious or... That's
a good drinking number. Well, Royce makes fucking that in a day, no problem. So, if I can make that in a week, that's a respectable. That $300 from Monday to Thursday. If I can make that, then I will drink on Fridays. That will be... I'll start that next week and see how it rolls. Maybe we'll make it, maybe we won't.
Smell a bit fishy. You've got the isolated environment, the suspicious behavior from the NSF and personnel, the lack of working with the investigation, the obstruction of the investigation, it seems. Like, this just wouldn't fly anywhere else. It's because it's in such a remote area. Also, Dr. Robo Thompson's disappearance. But anyways, if Rodney Marks had known what was happening to him, he would have said something during the 36 hours he was lucid before his death. Without cooperation from NSF and no leads...
That's like $70 a day. That ain't bad. That's only $70 a day. I don't know if I have enough people to do that, but Some guy can swoop in and be like, here's $300, drink. I'll be like, well, there we go.
The investigation
There
simply
we
could
go.
not proceed or reach any kind
You
of
don't know. It could
meaningful
happen.
conclusion. The coroner also could not conclude that it was or was not murder, but wrote, I respectively disagree that accidental poisoning and even foul play can be adequately disregarded without a full and proper investigation, like a responsible adult. The nature by which Rodney Marks was poisoned still remains unsolved and will likely remain that way until the end of time. The case...
That's what we wanted to make part-time a month to drink on in high school. Part-time? Part-time? You make $300 a month? I mean, yeah, that's booze money. That's booze money. Sure. I mean, depending on your habit, like, because some people drink a lot. But, like, for high school kids, $300 a month, that's plenty.
Stands as a stark reminder of the lawless nature of Antarctica. Things just do not operate the same way there as they do.
Christian wants this to become a Battlefield 6 tips and tricks channel. If I was good at Battlefield 6, then yeah, absolutely I would do that. But I'm not. You know, I'm okay. I can play the game. I'm not exactly a fucking stunner at it, you know?
Here or anywhere else on the world. And the Amundsen Scott South Pole Station was replaced with a new
weekenders in high
$150
school,
million
exactly.
station, which opened in 2008.
Fucking you drink on the
and that
weekends?
included-
You drinking on the weekends and you're a high school. Look, you're not going to bars because you're in high school, right? So $300, I mean, it was you and probably, I'm going to guess, 2 or 3 buddies. $300 a month? That's over $100. Well, it's like it's under $100 per weekend. That's plenty. That's a bottle every weekend. That's a bottle or 2 every weekend. That's plenty.
updated in modern medical facilities, and telecommunications for remote specialist consultation to avoid personnel meeting the same fate as Rodney Marks. So at least there was a bit of a change there.
Oh, you had the older sister. Yeah, the older sister is good. So my older brother was like, we looked similar, and I looked old for my age, and he looked young for his age. But he was like 4 or 5 years older than I was. And so I would take his ID, and I would go and buy liquor with it when I was like 15, 16 years old. Never had a problem. Never had a problem. I would do it all the time. Never had an issue. Yep. They didn't even question me. They questioned him more than they questioned me. It just never had a problem. Yeah. I was just like, yeah, I'm just, buying some liquor. And they're like, okay.
What if I told you there was a whistleblower in 2023 that said there was a direct energy weapon in Antarctica that was
Christian says, I hope you'll find your average white man well, John. Me too, bud. Thanks, me too.
powerful enough to cause earthquakes and communicate with off-world vehicles using telecommunications technology that can travel.
Carbon says cheap booze is not that expensive. You can get some real dog shit out there like 40s or MD 2020. Are you drinking MD 2020? You drinking that Mad Dog, dude? Ew. I've tried MD 2020 just because I was curious, and it is the most disgusting shit I've ever tasted. It's undrinkable. Hey, Noel. It's undrinkable. I'll give you the bell for that, buddy. Some booze money. You don't have to play this right now, but a black fatigue streamer will probably give you a bump if she sees you boosted her. Good Carnival Cruise, unruly passenger content. Do you have a link? Give me a link. I'll play it. I don't care.
Faster
It's Friday. Fridays are for me. I don't give a shit. I'm not sticking to anything on Fridays.
than the speed of light. What if I told you that? And then what if I told you that it was owned by Ice Cube?
Red Dog and Ice House also? Oh my god, dude. Red Dog.
Yeah,
Oh
this
my
Ice
god.
Cube. Part of
They
that
don't make Red Dog anymore. Do they make Red Dog still? They must.
would be horseshit.
Yeah.
But the other part is true. The Ice Cube neutrino
But when you're
observatory,
15,
not to be
yeah.
confused with
Yeah, no. Even when you're 15, Mad Dog, MD 2020, undrinkable. Absolutely undrinkable. Undrinkable. It's so sweet. It's no. Never. Oh, okay. Now he's got the link. Okay. I'll hit the link. Yeah, if she gives me a boost, whatever. I don't care. And you say she's a black fatigue streamer? Okay. This might be interesting.
Another weekend in Chicago means people getting shot.
What did I say at the beginning of the stream? What did I say? I said I didn't want to like yell at stuff. I wanted to chill a stream. I want to just fucking hang out with my cult. You know, chilling with the boys. You know, have some laughs. And then Noel comes in and he's all like, "Yo, you want to yell at something?" I'm like, "Yes."
Again, parents, know where your kids are. When you know your kid is going into a space that they are not familiar with, that they do not frequent, why would y'all let them go?
Chicago, we are bankrupt.
Our local police department will not ever cooperate with ICE.
You know what? At this point, I kind of feel like
Our local police department will not cooperate with ICE. You're admitting to a federal crime. Do you understand that? Do you understand that's a federal crime? Okay. All right. Just saying.
Because I just do not understand. Earlier this week, we talked about the back-to-school season, parents acting crazy, rewarding bad behavior, and the effect it has on their children. Just when you think it can't get any worse, here comes a teacher. Yes, a teacher who
What's with her voice?
goes by the name of J. Roy.
Hey, J. Roy. What's up? What's up, J. Roy?
Massive party on the west side of Chicago. I mean, we're talking 800 to 1,000 kids and young adults in attendance. But of course,
big ass party.
Word for it. I want you to go ahead and take a listen to this clip. Go ahead and take a listen.
Oh my God, that's a lot of black kids. Oh, is this gonna be Texas street fights kind of shit? You went to Club J. Roy. Ew, what the fuck? You started a riot. That's what you did. This isn't a party. This is a riot. You started a riot.
Now, I cannot get into the mindset of a parent who will let their children participate in some of the things that I see happening. I've been talking about this constantly, the way parents behave around their children, what they allow their children to do. And
Hogdog says we got into Firewater and Aftershock and Goldschlager. Oh, I had a bad experience with Goldschlager. Before I went like snowboarding. Well, like the night before I went snowboarding, I drank a bunch of Goldschlager and I just got fucking wrecked. I got wrecked off Goldschlager. Never again. I haven't drinking Goldschlager since. No, thank you. Ugh.
it just keeps getting worse. Like, do these kids even get punished anymore? I know, like, people shouldn't whip their children. I'm saying, like, do they, like, do the thing where they take the phones or any kind of punishment? Because, like, from what I'm seeing, the answer is no. And the part that blows my mind, people in Chicago
Did they do that before?
They know that there's a violence problem, and still
a party for us was like 30 people. Yeah, see, that's like that's a part. Like I would consider that a party, right? 30 people. That's a house party. That's a normal size. You know, once you start to get like 50 people, okay, it's getting a little out of hand. It's getting a little big, right? Once you start pushing into like 100 people, all right, you're gonna have to like knuckle down and call the cops. You have to call the cops. It's gotten out of control. It's gotten out of control. Yeah, but like 20, 30 people, that's very manageable. You can control the damage and stuff like that, and it's like responsible enough. You can all have a good time. A lot of great laughs, a lot of memories and stuff. Maybe a couple people hooking up. You know, that's a party. That's okay. Once you get to the big numbers, strangers start showing up, and then it's all gone. It's all fucking gone.
It's a good idea to pack hundreds of young people in one location to get high and drunk. basic common sense says maybe
You would make
maybe
bongs
know
out of
how
Goldschlager bottles? Why? Why?
to 1,000 kids in a party in a city where the crime rate is through the roof. Literally, people
When
are
it goes
living
from
in a
house
war
to
zone,
block
but
party, you're
apparently
gonna have a bad
promises-
time. Not only that, your parents, and then everybody on the block is gonna be fucking pissed, dude. They're gonna be pissed, and then you can't yeah, it's not good. And it's just like, then you got a bunch of problems, and then the police get involved. Then you have to talk to the cops, and sometimes you're hammered too, so you have to talk to the cops when you're hammered, and you're like, yeah, you just think it's a party, Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's so common anymore. And to put the icing on the cake, this wasn't ran by some random person. It was a teacher. The parents aren't outraged. They are not protesting.
Well, teachers are generally scum. Teachers, public school teachers specifically. I can't really speak for private school teachers because I never went to private school. But I went to public school in California, and teachers were scum. They were the lowest common denominator of society. They were the dumbest people. They were the laziest people. And a lot of them were alcoholics, perverts, pedophiles and shit like that. Or just straight up fucking idiots. Just lazy, worthless idiots. And so when they would get angry, I never did shit in school. I never did anything in school. I didn't give a shit about graduating, and I got my GED as soon as I possibly could because I was like, I'm fucking out of here. I fucking hate this place. I'm forced to be here. You guys hate me, and I hate you. Okay? But by law, I have to be here. So I never did anything. And I failed all my classes. And the instant I was allowed to take my GED, I took it, and I passed it, and then I was out. All right? Because I fucking hated that place. I hated everything about that. The people, some of the people were cool, but most of the people fucking sucked. But the teachers were terrible people, and they all hated me. They hated me, dude. So first opportunity, I was gone.
They're not doing anything, actually. The community will protest everything that doesn't help the black community.
Hog Dog says, I got my GED at 17. I hated public school. There you go. So it's not something that's unique. People do this. I feel the school's for girls. The modern education system is strictly set up for the feminine, right? You have to sit in these fucking desks for hours and pay attention and not goof off or do anything creative or anything. Just do what they tell you. Do the fucking busy work. Why do you think girls are why do you think the valedictorian to every high school graduation you've ever been to was a girl? That's true for me. I bet it's true for all of you too. Have you ever been to a graduation where the valedictorian wasn't a girl? Why do you think that is? Why do you think more girls are going into college than men are? Do you think it's because, girls are smarter than men? No, of course not. That's silly. That's nonsense. But they are willing to sign up for very large loans, and, it's also a depopulation tactic, right? If you can keep young girls away from being married and starting families young, then you can severely lower the population. And what's a better way to do that than keep them in the education system until they're 26, 27, 28 years old? At which point, they're like, oh, I'm going to be a doctor. And then they go and, they do residency for a couple of years until they actually become a doctor, let's say at 30. And then they're like, oh, shit, I realized I wanted to be a mom and not do all this yucky bullshit. I just thought I was going to meet a doctor. That didn't really pan out. And now I'm 30. I'm making a lot of money, so I can't date somebody who makes less than me because I always have to date parallel or up. And then let's be honest, it's always up. It's never parallel. And then you severely limit their options because a doctor making good money isn't going to want to marry a 30-year-old doctor. And here's another thing. Men don't care how much money you make. Honestly, the less money that you make, the better. The better. But don't listen to me. Listen to your feminist college professors. Listen to your fucking, I don't know, your bullshit you look on your phone. I don't know. There's just so much stupidity in the world. There's just so many fucking stupid people. But what are you going to do? Yell at them into a microphone on the internet? It doesn't seem to be working. Am I muted? No. Doesn't seem to be working. Everyone just says I hate women now. Okay. Well, I'm just trying to, look out for your best interests. Honestly, I swear to God, I am. I'm just trying to shake some sense into you and be like, yo, do you think this is a really good idea? Because I don't hate women. I hate your decisions. I hate your opinions. I hate your fucking gloaty attitude. There's a lot of things to hate. I hate those fucking things in your nose and shit like that. But women in general, no, I can't say I do. That'd be like me hating wildebeests or something like that, or elephants on the savannas. That doesn't make sense, Me hating women is just why I want people to propagate and then create society and stuff. The main detractor from that, I see the people making the worst decisions typically are women. That's why I'm a little upset. That's why I have to say these things to you. It's not about hatred. It really isn't. It's just annoyance. It's such a deep level of annoyance that like you guys you guys probably believe, but like, right? Right?
But when it comes to things that would make a difference, silence.
Carbon says women are too funny to hate. I know, they like bump into things and like, they're so clumsy. It's cute to a certain level before it becomes like annoying, but it's endearing, right? The helplessness that they typically have, but they don't want to be seen as helpless, but too bad. And so they go to like colleges and stuff and say, like, see, I'm smart. Look how smart I am. I signed up for $200,000 in debt. See, I'm smart. I'm smart. Okay. Okay. So that's like smart, like swallowing a firecracker smart. Wow, you're brilliant.
Not kidding. This is crazy. Every time I think Chicago might be turning a corner, something might happen.
You see how smart I am? I have a bunch of debt and useless degrees. Oh. Okay, so you made yourself a problem. You made yourself actively less desirable. Because not only have you aged beyond the point where you're desirable as a life partner, but you also saddled yourself with a huge amount of debt. But here's another thing. You have this arrogance because you went to some fucking stupid school that no one gives a shit about. Even if it's like Stanford or Harvard, no one gives a fuck. I don't care if you're a doctor. I honestly don't. I really don't. I really don't. I don't give a fuck about that. And neither does any other man on the planet. They don't want a doctor wife. Nobody wants a doctor wife. You know what I mean? I would rather a wife that works at fucking McDonald's, who's like sweet and nice and like, young enough to, mother children. And not a complete stuck-up cunt. That's the main issue. It's not even the age completely, because, they can be a little bit older, but if they're not just a complete stuck-up cunt, you're really working with fire there, But once they go through that entire education system, they really just become insufferable, completely insufferable. And look, I am not the only one complaining about this. I'm not. And I don't even give a shit at this point. I'm married. I am out of the game. I have my kids. I have my wife. I'm not looking for anything. But I'm trying to do what's best for y'all. I'm concerned about you. I'm concerned about my children's future, obviously. And then women are definitely going to be a part of that. So if I can change that behavior now to where it's not going to be such a problem for them in the future, because I only have boys. That would be ideal. Me, unlike a boomer, I'm trying to make the society, the world, a better place than what I found, than what I came into. I'm not just plundering it to death like a fucking boomer did, or the boomers do, or currently are doing. And then they're all like, why don't we have grandchildren? You always hear this from boomers. Why don't we have grandchildren? I'll sell you my house for $1.5 million, even though I bought it for $70,000 back in 1980. Sure. Why don't I have grandchildren? Why do you think? Why do you think? You stupid old bastard. I'm not even saying that's, I mean, like, you see, I can't help myself. I get riled up by all the fucking stupidity in this world. And I just I'm tired of it. I'm fatigued. Like this bitch right here. Even though she's black, she sees it too. And she's like, man, this is bullshit. And it's so interesting, the painting she has behind her. It's a black wedding. And it looks like an old-timey black wedding. There's probably a lot of, like, symbolism that's going on for her. Like a past of moderate civilization, and not just a bunch of fucking monkeys fighting in the streets of Texas like you see today. I'm with you, bitch. I'm with you. You're focusing on a very narrow subject, though, right? I'm trying to step back and seeing the entire picture. And it's not much prettier. It's not much prettier. Oh, despite. Got a tenner. Says, you're being too serious for a Friday. Watch this. I can't help it, despite. I just honestly cannot. I cannot help it. It is just in my bones. It's in my DNA just to be fucking sick of it. You know, I'm just tired, just like the rest of you. Just like the rest of you.
This sketch is brought to you by Me, Myself, and the Void, a movie we acted in. More on that at the end.
Arden Share says, I have 3 degrees. There's nothing that I currently have that I couldn't get without that retarded schooling. Damn. I mean, at least you have the degrees, though. And you're not in debt anymore. I remember you telling me that, so you're good to go. But, like, you're not a woman either. So, like, it's totally different. Yeah, they are useless. But, like, not... Look... The minimum you have to have is a college degree to get any sort of job these days. So you saying you have 3 is probably going to help you in the career world. But like even then, it's not like you need them. It's not like you use them. It's just something to say, I have 3 of these, so I can do the task assigned, which is the impressive part, which a lot of people can't do, admittedly.
Oh, I would sell my soul to play the guitar like that.
And here comes Satan.
Oh, no.
Oh, this is Chris and Jack. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Chris and Jack. Yeah, I like these guys.
Fine. Yeah, I'm good, man.
You were saying that like you would sell your soul to...
Sure, yeah. I said that before I knew Satan was real.
Sure.
And definitely said that very casually while not valuing my soul.
Sure.
And now I see you here, and I'm like, okay, well, Satan is real. Then there must be an afterlife, and by proxy, like, God and heaven and hell. So, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hold on to my soul.
Right. No, I see that, but, like...
Sure, not exactly how the devil works. He just doesn't appear. He's actually much more, circuitous? Is that the word? He's much sneakier about it.
Would you like to be the world's greatest guitar player?
I mean, in the abstract, sure, but like in exchange for my eternal soul, which I just found out was real, by the way, I'm good, man. I can kind of do Travis picking. Check this out. I can keep going. I know the C chord.
No, I get it. Think of the fame, the fortune, the debauchery.
I'm thinking, yeah.
Look, man, I came all this way. There was obviously like an initial baseline interest here, right? So let's hammer out a deal. I'd love to lock something in.
Isn't hell for like forever?
Yeah, it's eternity, yes.
And it's as bad as I say it is.
I mean, look, I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat hell. It's bad, it's hell. Is it as bad as they say it is? No, that's a high bar.
Sure.
Like,
That's a high bar. That's a high bar. You know, it's not great. It's not like the most positive place in the world. I'm not going to lie. I think they're overselling it a little bit. Yeah, there is flames. Yeah, you will suffer for eternity. But there's also casual Fridays. We have a margarita night. People get up and do karaoke and stuff like that. But then you're bad at it. You're no matter what bad at it. And then you feel really guilty and like ashamed of yourself for being so bad. So it's a hell. It is still hell. Right, it's just, you know, I like to get creative with the punishments sometimes.
Right. First of all, you gotta know it's a dry heat. It's not muggy. There's no like humidity in hell, if that's what you've been picturing.
I've been picturing fire.
Right, but it's a dry fire.
Yeah, okay, no, we're good here, man. I've heard enough. I think we're good to move on.
No. Come on, bud. You tell me what it's gonna take for me to leave here today with your soul, because I feel like we're close.
I think we're pretty far apart.
Look, what if we looked at this? Maybe I toss in some...
Ben says, only alcohol is isopropyl. Yeah, you have a margarita, but then it's like fucking isopropyl, so you're like, oh... And then you just keep drinking it because you got a drinking problem. You're addicted to it, and then you constantly heave and stuff like that. And you're always hungover. Oof. That is hell. Constantly hungover. Like you wake up and you're like, I didn't even get drunk last night. Why am I so fucking hungover? That sucks. That's hell. That's hell right there. And then everything on top of that.
Right? Like in addition to guitar, also like fiddle or harmonica, bass guitar.
Is all your stuff music stuff?
It's mostly music stuff. Okay. Yeah, I can't...
Largely music based. Yeah, there's a lot of jam bands in hell. Again, it's hell. So it's really fucking annoying. Like it's like a fish concert that's constantly going on. Yeah, everyone's a fucking dirty hippie. And it's like, yeah, and the alcohol sucks. And the chicks are all ugly too. You wouldn't think that. You wouldn't think like, oh, there's got to be a few cute chicks down there. It's hell, right? You know, there's got to be some, you know. Nope. All gross.
Shape people's thoughts. I can't
all
make
gross.
Decisions for them.
Because of free will.
Right. So I thread the needle with like muscle memory stuff. Music is perfect for that. Not composing, that would be decisions and stuff.
Sure.
But the physical skill of music, that's right up my alley. And lots of other muscle memory stuff if you're interested. Like taekwondo, juggling, dicing celery really fast, rhythm guitar.
Could you make me like emperor of the world or something?
No. There's too many wills and they have to stay free.
Okay.
You know, I can't like warp reality. I can like pull people into temptation, right? I'm more of like a synfluencer. You get it. You get what
Synfluencer, very good. Nice.
my whole deal is.
I don't know if I do get what your whole deal is. Like, the whole devil thing is very general to me.
Okay, well, look, I'm here to make a deal. I'm here to be upright and honest and fair, so ask me questions. What do you need to know?
What's the significance of 666? What's that all about?
It was my Little League number.
What about snakes?
Honestly, I was just kind of...
It's not your, like, area code or something like that? Like, you're one of those Mexicans with the 666, right? Tattooed on their face. You think the devil is Mexican? Probably not. Probably not.
Kind of
probably not Mexican. It's probably not Mexican.
Sorry, puns. Those are
okay, we gotta write that down. Huh? Okay, the devil is probably not Mexican. Okay, put a pin in that.
Why do you want souls so bad?
To be honest, like I started.
Jimmy Buffett for eternity. I mean, like that wouldn't even be the worst. Now, the people who listen to Jimmy Buffett for eternity, you're surrounded by them. That would be terrible. That would be awful. I'd rather have Jimmy Buffett playing on like the speakers like I'm in a fucking Dollar General for eternity than just have to deal with a bunch of fucking fat, drunk, Tommy Bahama wearing fucking boomers. No, thank you. No, thank you. Hard no.
And it's really big, and it was pretty lonely feeling. So I was like, I gotta build some community, you know? Draw in sinners from all walks of life. Have a little synergy. That's where that comes from. Also, I should disclose that there's a lot of torture stuff, and...
Background noise, and this is an interesting one. He says, for me, hell would be playing that music that sounds like robots fucking. Is it just pots and pans clinking together? I don't know what you're talking about. Is it a lot of Daft Punk? What are you talking about?
The anguish of lost souls is my food. I can admit that. Soul food.
And Pooh says, cheeseburgers in paradise. You're right. It would suck. I'm not saying it would be the best thing in the world. I'm not saying that. It's just like the Jimmy Buffett fans would make it a million times worse. I could tune out. I could, like, if I'm listening to cheeseburgers in paradise over and over, it's eventually just I'm going to go like, you know how when you smell something bad and then eventually you just stop smelling it because you're in it so much? I can kind of do that with like annoying sounds and like music and stuff, but yeah, the people, no. And they're close talkers too. So you get their fat, stinky, alcoholic breath. Hey, you having a good time tonight? Yeah. So yeah, Clarice left me. Yeah. That sounds rough, Doug. You have to make small talk with them because you don't want to be rude. I know it's hell, but you don't want to be rude still.
As much as I appreciate your honesty, yeah.
That's really hell. That's hell. And you're hungover, and the only drink is isopropyl alcohol.
I am not going to be trading eternal anguish in for like guitar hammer-ons.
I think we're going to find something.
I think we're getting a little further apart.
Okay, maybe you're not considering like all of the other incredible perks that you would unlock once you've sold your soul.
Like what?
Well, like other sins are fully on the table at that point, right? Like there's no level worse than hell. It's like if you get a parking ticket at a meter, you might as well just stay at that meter.
Stay parked at the meter, I guess. Yeah.
Right? Okay, so like sin away. Greed, go for it. Impure thoughts, hey. Think them, right? You're literally damned if you do, damned if you don't. So go ahead, worship a false idol.
And there's no like consequences? I won't go to jail or anything?
What? No, like Earth rules still apply. Don't be dumb about it. I'm just saying like, hey, covet your neighbor's goods.
You know what?
Covet your neighbor's goods. That's the thing. You're covetous. So you're just staring at your window and you're like, damn, that's a nice barbecue. I mean, you would have to go a little further than that. I mean, if you have a free ticket, you're going to hell anyway, and then you just sit there wanting your neighbor's barbecue.
We're done here, man. I think I'm just gonna take some extra guitar lessons and like join the seminary or something. Okay?
Don't say that. Look.
Hey, Amanda. How you doing?
I don't know if we are.
Talk about maybe I bump a little off the top.
What is that? What are you talking about?
Let me crunch some numbers. For excellent at guitar. Jeez, let me see what I can do here. There's a world I could go as low as 7/8 of a soul, if that moves the needle.
What is that? How does that work?
So it wouldn't be your full soul, right? You'd still have a little bit of soul to work with. So like you're leaning into hell, but it's not guaranteed that you're going to hell. That would require like a couple more sins, right? You still got some breathing room to play with.
I mean, I'll say very mildly that, like, I guess is interesting to me.
Okay.
I didn't know that was a thing, that like fractions of souls.
Oh yeah, fractions. No, it's not a thing, dude. Of course that's not a thing. He's lying. He's the fucking devil, dude. He's lying to you. You don't get that? A human salesman will lie to you. You don't think the fucking devil's gonna do it? No, there's gonna be some like fucking clause in the paperwork that says like, wait, if I don't redeem this in 30 days, it says you get my fucking full sale. Now, yeah, there's going to be some weird kind of shit like, don't believe that. Come on, bro.
See, there's middle ground to be found here. I'm fair. I'm not trying to rip anybody off.
Okay, so what level of sinning like equates to 1/8 of my soul?
Right, well, it would have to be substantial.
Sure, okay.
Give me a deadly sin.
Gluttony.
Gluttony, great. It wouldn't be like, oh, you had an extra cookie, right?
Sure,
it would have to be substantial. It would have to be like you had like 2, 3 extra cookies.
Nah, okay, no, I'm good, man.
So it's not that substantial. A couple extra cookies and I'm going to hell? And it's not like, wow, okay. Well, those are tough terms. He's lying to you. This is a lie.
There's no deal here.
Look, we're close. I've done a lot of these deals, and I know when we're close. So you gotta work with me on this, because I've already come down a lot.
I don't have to do anything. I don't.
Read it like you do your phone contract. So not at all. You just scroll it until you sign, dude. Like I know South Park did an episode of that, and like we're all guilty of that. We don't know the shit we've signed up for, and like they say Grok is able to like. Make it summarize these things. Has anybody used Grok to do that yet? Has anybody used Grok to like summarize a contract and be like, yo, can you point out like the nasty shit here? Really, can we do that right now? Can we do that right now? Can we give that a shot? Maybe we should. Does anybody have a contract? Anybody have a contract just lying around? Any contracts? I don't even know how to use Grok. Grok. All right. Who's got a contract? We'll look up a contract. Is any bills going around? Ah, big, beautiful bill. There we go. Let's see if we can get the thing in its entirety, because I want to see if this works. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh my God, it's so big. Oh my God. It really is big. Oh my God. Anyways, just wait here with me for a while. This might take a minute. Wait, there's another way I can do this. Isn't there a way I can highlight everything? Hold on. Who's a tech person? Who's the tech person here? I could just highlight the whole thing. And you you have less time to read it than Congress had for Obamacare. It's going to be 100. It's going to be 100, if not 1,000 pages. What you need is a summary of what the contract says. Yeah. So, Jesus, dude, who writes this? Who writes all this? Is this like code? There's no way. You're telling me an 80-year-old man who fucking works at Congress, and they're all 80, and they're all supposed to read this every time this happens, which is a lot. That's impossible. That's fucking impossible. That's impossible. There's no fucking way. So you're telling me nobody in Congress ever reads the bills that they pass? Ever? Ever? Because that seems likely if they're 1,000 pages long and you get, I don't know, several a year. I don't know how many they pass, but let's say there's no fucking way you're even reading one of those. There's no way. There's no fucking way. No. No, now that I just learned what politics is, I'm upset. I'm upset by that. I'm mad.
Willing to part with.
Probably not, no.
Say a number. Throw a number out there. See what happens.
That's dumb.
5% of my soul.
Come on, man. Be serious.
That's an honest answer. That's actually probably high.
For excellent at guitar?
Yeah.
We're talking about like Ed Sheeran level great at guitar. For that, I couldn't go.
Ed Sheeran? Ed Sheeran? Okay. I guess. You can't bump that up. Look, if it's 5% of the soul, how about being 5% great at guitar? So what is that? That's like, I don't know much about music. Give me a guy who's 5% good at, I'm better than 5% good at guitar. I don't have to trade anything for it, except for several thousand hours.
80%.
I mean, if I had to like count it all up, it would be a few thousand hours.
80%?
Yeah.
We're not.
We are.
We're close.
We're not.
I feel it.
I don't.
Here's what I'll say.
Okay.
I'm going to say a 1.
5 is enough to get laid in college. There you go, Carbon. Thank you. I mean, like, I'm pretty good at guitar. I wrote and performed all the music for our wedding, me and Jess's wedding. And I don't know why. I'm just flexing. I could play it right now. A lot of you have heard it, but I'm not smashed right now.
Time number. You gotta
I'm not
type in
smashed.
75% of a soul for guitar and a black belt in Jeet Kune Do. Best and final. You're only getting that here.
Sorry, man. It's a pass.
I feel like you're really fixated on the hell part of it. I don't think you're fully imagining how free and easy your life would be. Like, yes, would it be bad afterwards? Maybe.
Yeah.
But you could spend...
But think about the extra cookie. Think about coveting your neighbor's barbecue. Think about all the sins, like sleeping in on Sundays. Yeah, sloth, right there. Sin. Pretty good deal. Just saying. You already got a ticket to hell. All these things are on the table. How many times have you wanted to, chill out? It's not like you could be lazy like throughout your day and stuff because you got to work and like make money. But you could be pretty good at guitar. Ed Sheeran good at guitar.
Forever
so fucking
worrying about eternity.
That's so fucking
Live in the
stupid.
now.
We're not going to get there.
70?
We're not going to get there.
65, and you promise to lure 2 or 3 friends into a web of sin.
It's a no.
55, 58, and 1 month of purgatory before full hell.
No.
I could go to like 45, but you'd have to pay half your soul up front.
How does that work?
Possession. Do like a month-to-month thing, like, prorated.
Oh, no.
30% of your soul. You get to spend a year after death as a ghost with unfinished business, guitar, and...
Ghost with unfinished business. Ghost, go on. Let's go into that clause right now. What kind of ghost are we talking? We talking about like poltergeist where I get to like move shit around and stuff like that, or like one of those lame ghosts that just kind of like haunts people's dreams? Well, that might not be that bad. No, I'd rather poltergeist. I want to hit people with stuff. So like, can we do that? Is this possible? Can he also be really good at guitar?
And slide guitar. That's the final. Walk away. Let's shake
slide guitar. Who plays slide guitar? Who plays the slide guitar? No, I've seen some people that are pretty good at slide guitar.
All right, well, if I have to do this, I'm doing this.
Submit to me. Render your soul unto my hands, and all you desire shall be yours. Submit to your craven wants. Give in. 27, and we shake right now.
I feel like we're close.
Bathe in these wicked desires of the flesh. You said 5, I mean, we're not that far apart.
Meet me in the middle. Can we shake at 26?
We got a deal at 25. What do you say?
Yeah, it's still a no for me.
All right, well, I'm not going to push you. Take my card.
Got
it. Okay. Well, they couldn't make a deal. They just couldn't. They couldn't make a deal. I want to watch more Chris and Jack. Why not? It's my Friday. I want to, Yeah. If you're the dream ghost, what would you do while the person you're haunting is awake? Wait, I guess, but it doesn't mean. Look, there's always people sleeping. There's always going to be people sleeping. So I guess I'll just wander around until I find somebody taking a nap or something like that, and then like haunt their dreams. I don't know if I could do anything like physically to them, or like, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess I would just have to find somebody who's still asleep. It would be a problem. Yeah, so yeah. I'd just rather be the poltergeist. But see, this is why they're not meeting. They just, like, because a poltergeist requires at least, like, 70, 80% of the soul. Right? For you to get that kind of power. But, like, a dream, you can do, like, a 5% deal with, like, the dream ghost. But, like, nobody really wants to do the dream ghost thing. You can't really do the things, right? If you just want to kind of, like, mess with somebody mentally, like, say you have an ex-wife. And, like, you go and you, like, fuck with her and shit like that. I guess to some people in certain situations it could be useful, but, like, most people don't give a shit about dream ghosts. And most people forget their dreams right away. So, I mean, like, what's the point of even haunting them in the first place, in the off chance that they do remember their dream. See, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. You know?
This sketch is brought to you by Raycon.
I hope that makes sense.
More on them at the end.
Chill, smoke a ghost blunt? No, I don't think you get ghost blunts.
Hi, Phil. Welcome to the Heartbreak Hotel. Sorry, why did I just have a breakup conversation with your girlfriend and end up here?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is where you're going to be staying while you process your heartbreak. I take it this is your first time here?
Yeah, it's my first. Yeah.
Oh boy. Got our work cut out for us. But you'll still have everything you need for your
I'd
stay.
rather be Jason Voorhees than Freddy Krueger, right? I mean, like, look. Of course you would. Imagine haunting an Indian? No. I'm not going to do that. It's just sex dreams and poop stuff. I'm not going to do that. I don't even think I don't think you can haunt an Indian. Because they don't give a shit about, like, doing U-turns on the highways in a semi-truck. So, I mean, like, what are you going to do? You know, if that doesn't haunt you, if taking the life of a family, an innocent family, doesn't haunt you, and then you're just like, I got diarrhea all the time. No, this is useless, pointless.
We have daily turn-down service. You should be no stranger to that. We have a gym where you can work out your feelings. Oh, and we have
Daily turn down service is pretty. That's a good joke. That's a good joke.
complimentary wake-up.
That's a good joke. Okay.
We also have a television with all of the streaming services you could ever want. Regretflix, Dismay Plus, AMC, all the things you did wrong in the relationship. Hulu.
So listen, I don't think
Just
I need
normal
to
Hulu.
Stay here. This wasn't like a full-on heartbreak. We ended on pretty good terms. We're gonna stay friends. You know, we can talk whenever. So,
Sir, we have a very strict no-contact policy here.
I'm just gonna shoot her a quick text, see if she wants to grab a coffee or anything, catch up. Why hasn't she texted me back yet? Hey, give me that back.
Trust me, it's for the best that you not be in contact. It could extend your stay indefinitely.
All
right, let's see how long you're gonna be staying with us here. Duration of relationship divided by 4. Factor in inevitable check-ins on social media, likely a couple drunk texts. Your stay will be a total of 8 months.
8 months?
Do you have any baggage with you? Oh, look at that. Of course you do.
Oh?
Don't worry. I hid it somewhere very difficult to find, and then you're going to spend forever unpacking it. Got a room key for you here. You're going to be staying in our Hindsight Tower, room 2020. You have any questions for me so far? Or we good?
Thanks.
Yes, a lot. I have a lot. Yeah, I have a lot of questions. What's this gonna cost me?
Color in your hair.
Do you guys have room service?
Oh, you'll be doing all the servicing yourself.
No, I mean like an on-site restaurant.
You really aren't going to have an appetite.
Do you guys have a bar?
We have a happy hour from 4 p.m. until the next time you think of your ex with someone else, which is usually around 4:01 p.m.
Is there a Wi-Fi?
A wife you can, what, marry? She's out there, Phil.
Can I make like outgoing phone calls?
To all your closest friends, but you can only talk about your relationship for way too long and you can't hear anything on the other end.
Is there anything fun for me to do here?
We have a spa with a whirlpool of spiraling anxiety. Or if you're more of a reader, we have a communal library.
Okay, this isn't as good as the other ones. It's all right. It's all right. They're really like a hit and miss kind of a thing. They've had some good ones. Admittedly, they've had some good ones. But anyways, I believe I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it. And I'm going to start my weekend and enjoy myself. And I hope you guys do too. I hope you enjoyed the Sulk stream tonight, guys. I'm glad you are here. Good numbers, 130. Nice. Very good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hit the like button if you would be so kind. Ever so kind to me. And if you don't already, please follow, like, subscribe, share. Do those things to help out the cult. It really makes a difference. And if you want to support me any way you can, there's plenty of ways to do that. My Ko-Fi, my PayPal, Rumble Rants. You know the whole gist, the whole thing. Hit me on the weekend with a $5, you know, just to be nice. You don't have to, though. I get it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being you. Thank you so much for being part of the cult. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys on Monday. I hope you guys have a good weekend. And until then, be safe, be kind, do all those things that you need to do to make your dreams come true. And as always, drink a lot of water, get a good night's sleep, and take care of yourselves, because I care about you too. I'll see you guys on Monday. Love you. Good night.
I'm an incredible soul, unhinged and unleashed like a bulldog's fist growl. I'm spitting fire, burning through these trees, questioning the world, unraveling conspiracies. Talking about Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster 2, government lies they're feeding me their goo. I'm diving deep into this rabbit hole, uncovering the truth, setting fire to their control. I got small nipples, but my voice is loud, blowing like thunder in this crazy crowd. They say I'm crazy, but I call it walk, unraveling the madness with every word I spoke.